Another quick tutorial, this time on Electrickery. As weird as Rust Electrickery is. A lot of people call this an infinite power circuit. It's not, because it doesn't provide infinite power. It's a continuous power circuit, which is a far more accurate description. We're running at the moment from a single wind turbine, and as you can see it's only delivering 37 volts at the moment, so I always recommend at least 2 wind turbines. Wind's picking up, it's just power's just gone up to 41. So we connect our power source to the input, your first branch. The configured output from that branch goes to input A on your OR switch. The surplus power, because remember with root combiners you only actually, when you hit configure, which is currently set at 100, that only configures the output for that terminal. Any power over and above that comes out the second terminal there, which we are taking to our second branch. As you can see, because we've got this configured to 99 or 100, there is no surplus because we've only got 52 coming in. So we'll just drop that down to 40. As you can see, we've now got the surplus coming out, 55, coming down to the input on the second branch. We can configure this to 2 because that's all we need, a couple of volts just to power the components. The output, the configured output on your second electrical branch goes to the block pass-through on the blocker. While we're here, we will take the power out from the blocker to input B on the OR switch. As you can see at the moment, we've only got the one side of the circuit working, which is from the wind turbine. The power in on your blocker comes from the output of your battery, and the power supply, the power in to your battery, comes from the surplus power on your second branch. We've just connected a little counter up to the OR switch, so we're getting 39 volts out, which, if I can get a bit of shade, should be showing there on your counter. You might have to play with the configuration here a little bit to get your battery charged up. You can actually configure this up to about 99. If you're using a single solar cell, it wants to be around about 9, and multiply that by the number of solar cells you're using. So if you're using 2 solar cells coupled together with the root combiner, you can set that to 18, and so on. We're getting, what we're getting now, 87, which is fairly good. So we'll set this 87. We'll leave this at about 40 because we've only got the one wind turbine, and we know that the voltage from that can drop to as low as 30. The battery, as you can see, is charging very slowly, but it is charging. As soon as the output from your wind turbine drops below your configured power level there, so we'll set that to 60 just to I'll set it to 99. Because we don't have in excess of 99 volts going in, it's triggered the blocker, as you can see on the OR switch, but we're still maintaining a steady output. This battery should be discharging, it isn't, so it's quite possible that the wind turbine voltage has increased again. It has. Which is why we've now switched back over to charging mode. And it's very slowly charging the battery back up. I would probably recommend during the initial setting to set this as a relatively low value, which will give your battery a quicker charge up time, and then you can reconfigure it to an increased output. Battery will give you 100 out, so you don't really want to be setting this to more than about 99. Depending upon your elevation, the current wind speed in the game, you'll get varying outputs from your windmill, so I always recommend 2, and probably set it somewhere in the region of about 80 volts, 90 volts on your branch out there. But at least you'll be able to see visually from your OR switch exactly what your circuit is doing at any time of the given day or night. And that's pretty much the basic circuit. Obviously you'll want to replace this counter with whatever components you want to run. I don't recommend the use of splitters. They are handy, but if you have 2 outputs on your splitter, it divides your input voltage by 2. If you're using 3 outputs on your splitter, it divides it by 3. So if you've got 100 coming into your splitter, you will only get around 30 volts 33 volts on each output of your splitter. So wherever possible, I do recommend the use of branches. They're just far more efficient. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link to the Rustrition diagram in the comments, and you can have a fertile about with it at your leisure and at your pleasure. Thanks for watching.